and spectacular action make way for the newcomer to these stadiums, the sport of motorcycle supercross.
And you'll see why we think that as we join tens of thousands of stadium fanatics and take this video tour of the world of supercross. Hang on to your handlebars. I guarantee you, this is going to be wild.
Well, let's start with the start. That's where it all gets underway. For tension and excitement, the start of a supercross race rivals the Super Bowl kickoff or the first pitch of a World Series.
Welcome to Start Wars. The supercross battles begin with the drop of the gate. In the moments before the start, time stands still. But when that gate hits the ground, these Darth Vader lookalikes are up to their helmet in action. Take a look at these starts.
Now, when all goes well, that line of bikes coming out of the starting blocks look like the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall. But as Gary Bailey found out, things don't always go as well as they should. Look at that. Over the blocks, onto his head, and now a broken foot in the process.
Larry, when things go wrong, the race to turn one can be chaos, a crash fest, or a comedy.
Or a trauma, as the name implied.
If you think there's a traffic jam in the parking lot getting into one of these places, take a look at this.
You just never know when the problems will occur. Could happen at the back of the pack, the middle of the pack, or the front of the pack.
The worst, of course, is when it happens way up above the pack.
Now, that ground has to get hard when...
But looks can be deceiving.
You know, sometimes crashing in the... They must do something dumb. Don't do it right in front of a camera.
All right, I've seen chaos. I've seen crashes. Where's that comedy we talked about?
Well, it's right...
Flex, Larry, the combination crash. Number 40 is the real target here, and they finally take him out of there.
Well, let's stay with the C's in the dictionary, and we'll call this one the cluster crash for hitting your buddy from 3 feet in the air, and 25 points for hitting him from 20 feet in the air. They are known simply as abrupt halts.
We call them, or how we poke fun at them, the spectacular crashes of Supercross are all born of the same element, competition. It is the will to win that carries great racers like number 5, Jeff Ward, and number 7, Jeff Stanton, to the brink of crashing and sometimes beyond. Here's an episode that ends in a harmless crash, but more importantly, stands as a monument to a champion's determination. Stanton bouncing off of Ward. Wouldn't be headline news except that here, Stanton risked the National Supercross Championship just to beat Jeff. With the series winding down in a big point lead, Stanton should have been on cruise control. The only thing that could deny him the title would be a crash and an injury, and look what happened.
technically designed stages molded from 16 million pounds of dirt. Treacherous deep ditches, fast high bank corners, and jumps that launch riders more than 80 feet in the air are Supercross racetrack standards. They challenge the athlete to excel against not only his opponents, but also against his environment. The actors on this stage look like armored knights ready for battle. These men are some of the most talented, physically fit athletes in the world. Supercross is truly a unique sport, a combination of a rider and a motorcycle on a grueling racetrack at speeds considered unsafe by normal people in normal conditions. But Supercross athletes are anything but normal. The sport of Supercross demands an athlete cut from a different mold. An athlete that must be willing to put in thousands of long hours of practice on top of a hard-hitting, high-powered machine. He must be willing to accept the hours of painful lessons that both the bike and the course will teach him. Lessons that become brutally important in the heat of the race. For an amateur seeking a professional career, training begins at an early age. For riders like champion Jeff Stanton, this means long days were spent at the track while friends were playing baseball in neighborhood parks.
Well, you feel like you get robbed of some of that. Been involved with motorcycles, like you say, basically all of my life since I was 5 years old. You know, I missed out on the softball games when I was a little kid, and the football and the basketball. But after you're sitting back, you know, I wouldn't change it for anything. I've had a lot of fun in all my racing career, and I still have a long ways to go. But you know, you meet a lot of new faces, you know, each week traveling, and the experiences you get traveling, you know, across the country. And you know, I try to spend as much time with my family as I can on the weekdays. So I still have much of a family life, very involved with my family. So, you know, I'm not robbed of any family life. It's just all the little extracurricular activities that I missed when I was little. But like I said, I wouldn't change them for nothing after it's all said and done.
Look is torturous. It is full of risks and offers no guarantees. The hours devoted to learning the sport, off-track practice and racing all come together to build an experienced racer. As his track wins increase, sponsorships become easier to find. When sponsors provide money, a successful rider can be catapulted from the amateur ranks of the weekend rider to the professional level of national competition in a Supercross race. 20 riders on the start line, 20 riders with a single thought of winning the race.
Get to the corner first. That's all I think about. I don't hear the crowd. I don't even think I even notice the rider next to me. I basically lose all track of time. I try to concentrate on the starter. When he turns that 30-second board sideways, man, everything from that point on is instinct. Sometimes I think I can sense when the gate is going to fall. But all I know is when it does, I want to be the first one out of it. You know, the rider that gets the hole shot has got the best chance of getting the lead. And if you can get around all those crashes and all the guys falling, then, you know, you're just one step ahead of the game. And your chance of being a champ are that much greater. And being a champ is what it's all about. The #1 plate, the money, the prestige. You just twist the throttle and go for the gold.
The events of the 1990 Camel Supercross Series reveal stories of the lives and dreams of a special breed of super athletes. Some winning, some losing. But all are Supercross superstars that throttle for the gold.